Hello and welcome to another episode of BUNK. I have the beautiful Scotty and Miss
Hello
M with
there.
me again today. I'm
Hello.
Jess, obviously.
This is Jess.
Um,
This is Jess.
that's me. And today we're gonna go into Scotty's addiction.
You
What
know.
got her there? And all of that. So I'm gonna turn it over to Miss M.
All right, Scotty,
Yes, ma'am.
are you so excited about this? I
Oh
can
my
just
God, I'm
feel your
literally shaking in my
excitement.
boots. I'm so excited about it.
Okay, so you identify as an alcoholic, correct?
Yes, ma'am. I am a recovering alcoholic.
And how many years sober are you now?
So, okay, it's July. So on the 8th, I reached 2 years. 2 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
good for you.
Thank you.
That's incredible. That's an incredible accomplishment.
I feel good about it. Yeah, thank you.
So I
That's
want
awesome.
to start out. I want to take you back a long journey.
Long,
Can
long
you
ago.
long ago, can
In a
you
galaxy far, far
In a
away.
galaxy far, far away.
in a timeline that's similar to this but not the same,
Correct.
can you remember the very first time you ever tasted alcohol?
Oh, yeah. Of course I do. Oh my God. Dude, you wouldn't believe it. When I say that I am a scrappy Scot, I goddamn motherfucking mean it. You're about to learn something of me. This is who I am and I won't apologize, okay? This is where I come from. So I have a mad respect. I mean, obviously, and this is, where it goes into it because I need to explain myself first, okay? If I just gave you this answer, you would have questions anyway. So I'm going to save your questions. This is what it is. So I had a best friend growing up, and we were best friends for like, oh God, like 15 years. And and like I was saying before, like I have mad respect for diversity, for all cultures, all heritage. I mean, just enlighten me, teach me. I love to learn and I love to, really understand someone's culture. With that being said, me and my best friend, we grew up together. And I mean, we met when I was 11. Um, and so we quite literally went through like middle school, high school, like having kids. Like she was in the room when I had my oldest, and so just a lot of life in with each other. And one of those things included the first time that I tasted alcohol, and she was a few years older than a couple years. It was like almost 3 years, but I was a year ahead in school. And it was like that since kindergarten. And Oregon's different. I know Jess can speak on that, but Oregon's just
Oh
that's
yeah,
different. Okay. And
it's way different.
yeah. And for some reason I tested into kindergarten like early where I didn't have to repeat preschool or something. So it just happenstance where she was older, I was younger, but we were still always in the same place because we lived right on the same street virtually. Um, and so, because of the diversity, the culture, all that stuff, all that background, so her mother is Cambodian. And she speaks Cambodian in the house, like has like the culture, just all. I mean, her dad that she grew up with, we would spend the night, whatever, blah blah blah, and then we would go to like Asian, like some type of I believe it was Cambodian like church. There was like a Cambodian Jesus up there, like 21 Jump Street. I was like, hey, welcome to
Yeah,
Korean Jesus. He ain't got
Korean
time for your
Jesus.
problems. I've lived through that, dog. I've lived
Hell
through that.
yeah.
I was the only white bitch in the room. So y'all, my comfort food is rice and chicken with a shit ton of hot sauce, bro. And that's because
Hell
there was
yeah.
always rice on deck in the ricer, bro. And there was always some like,
Hell yeah.
cold pasta equivalent of chow mein that you could just and anyway, so the reason I say that is because she had straight up Cambodian whiskey on deck constantly. When I say please don't, I mean that. I truly mean that. So my first experience drinking, just in short, was my best friend and I went to the skate park. Don't motherfucking let your kids go to the motherfucking skate park, especially after dark, bitch. That shit closes at sunset and 15 minutes earlier. Don't let me catch you. Ooh, I swear to God. If I ever hear my girls or my boys say, "Oh, I'm going to go to the skate park," no, you ain't. And if you do, I'm coming with. Where are we going? Which skate park we going to?
Hell yeah.
I mean
Who's
that
gonna
shit.
be there?
Yeah, who's going to be there? Me. That's who. Buckle in, sweetheart. We're going. Mommy loves to meet your friends. But no, it's legitimately like in a water bottle. There was like she like snuck a water bottle of whiskey, of like Cambodian whiskey, straight, warm, straight Cambodian whiskey out of an empty water bottle after the skate park closed. And it was like my stomach fucking hurt. It was warm though. But yeah, my stomach hurt. I was 13. I was
Wow.
13.
Damn.
Yeah. It was my children won't be, I'm not going to say they won't be doing that because I'm more of a realist than that, but you know what I'm saying? Okay.
Yeah. Wow. That is very young to be experimenting with alcohol. Do
Yeah.
you remember the first time you got drunk?
Oh, that was probably like the first time. Like because I mean, I've always come to find out neurodivergent individuals, you like forget to eat. You just forget to eat. And then
Yeah.
and it's been that way my whole life and all of a sudden I'm drinking warm whiskey out of an empty water bottle on an empty stomach. So, the math is mathin' where it's just, yeah, my stomach was hurting and I was drunk as hell too, because I mean, not not knowing what it turned out to be at some points, but I mean, yeah, for not knowing shit, hell yeah, I was like, oh God, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Damn it. It was just hard into it. And I think especially at such a young age and just the circumstances, I mean, probably wasn't setting me up for anything great beyond that. You know what I mean?
Right. So, okay, so you're 13, you drink for the first time, you
Mm-hmm.
get drunk also.
Mm-hmm.
So, from that period of time to when you became a regular drinker, what is the time frame of that?
Oh God. I mean, as soon as I got out of the house, I was a regular drinker, which was hard because as soon as I got out, because I graduated early and I graduated early because I just wanted to work. I wanted to have my own thing. And,
Because you're smart as
oh,
fuck.
well, dude, thank you. I appreciate that. I feel like I have imposter syndrome because I've done things so early, though. You know what I mean? Where I'm just like, did that really happen? I'm like, yes, it did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's whenever I had the chance to, I was always the one that was like doing well in school, so no one could say shit because
Yeah.
prove it, ha ha, like fuck it. But my family life wasn't ideal by any means, and I think that obviously lent to, I wouldn't say the whole problem, but obviously that's on me. But I feel like I didn't have the best circumstances to not want to do it at every chance I could get, even though I was doing great in school. Because in my mind, if I was doing great in school, like in high school, that was my ticket out long term. If I was able to escape short term and fucking, I got my homework done before I left school, bitch, where we going? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's pretty bitches that are smart as shit are also dangerous as fuck. And y'all need to know that because y'all have daughters. I have daughters just like that. Two of them, both of them. I
Yeah.
got my eye on them, and not just them, but my sons as well. You know what I mean? So
Definitely.
Yeah.
it definitely was like from the get go. As soon as I could, any opportunity. When I was young, which I mean, it's harder when you have parents who don't drink, and then you are also like going out anytime you can. And every time I'm going out, if I'm not having some type of substance, I'm like, well, what the fuck am I doing here? And that was from a young age.
Mm.
And yeah, I mean, that's just really what it was. And then as soon as I got out of the house, yeah, it was like all the time, it was just set. You know what I mean? Anytime I could, because there was a lot. I felt like I was always running. Like I'm always just but like at all times like just trying just trying, you know. And when I would
Yeah.
drink, it would just feel like I could get back into my body, not feel rushed, not feel like I was needing to be somewhere that I wasn't presently at. And that's what I struggle with constantly, because I felt like I could be present, I could enjoy people, I could enjoy myself, I could really show off maybe my talents sometimes, and like, you know, sometimes not. To come to find out, if you get too drunk, then it goes to shit too. But like, you know,
Yeah.
so it was a really, I was predispositioned by my own choices at a young age, and as well as, you know, my environment to get here. And that's with me taking accountability, because I made my all my choices, but I made them starting at a young age. And once you have that predisposition of addiction in your genes anyway, I mean, we never talked about it. You know what I mean? We never talked about it. It was just, oh, don't ask, don't tell. And by that point, where I already knew that, you know, things were going down like with people that I cared about, it was like, well, if I'm open and honest with it, then I have nothing to hide and it's not a problem.
So you never hid your drinking.
No. Oh, no. Of anything, it was like, well, hit her up. She's always wanting to do something. And like, even if like the something was, hey, like, let's hang out. Let's do like a mom thing, and let's like get like a pack or two of something, like, especially during the summer. I
Yeah.
mean, that's like the funnest thing ever to do, is to like chill and
Yeah.
drink and like be at someone's house. And like, yeah, I mean, it's fun as
Hell yeah.
shit, dude. And the vibes are immaculate, but then it's also like, you know, there's a lot that goes with it when that's your routine, and that's your routine to want it and need it at every given opportunity. And then all of a sudden you're an adult, and all of a sudden like your kids are getting older, and all of a sudden you're like, what happened all this time, dude? And so it was really socially always there as well. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
always knew where to go. I always knew, like, no matter what, I'm a chill person and I want to get along with everybody, but I especially wanted to get along with the people who were partying and shit, but were also doing well in school. I especially hung out with those people, with the smart kids, the neurodivergent kids, now that I look back. Like, you know, I'm assuming, but
Yeah.
like, for speaking for me, we're smart as fucking shit, dude. We're smart as shit, but we can't handle the society, like the oh my god, what's going on over here, oh my god, shit, I gotta do this, well, hold on, shut the fuck up, I'm gonna focus on this real quick, you're gonna sit down, you're gonna shut the fuck up, you're gonna leave me the fuck alone, I'm gonna do what I gotta do, okay, that's done, I auto focused on that, okay, turn that in, my homework's done, I'm gonna make sure that I can just chill for a second. What can I do for that?
Mm.
And that's why I
Yeah.
danced as well, because it's like I then I also, that's when things started getting even worse, like for me in my personal life, where I started to dance because I needed more than just drinking when I could. I needed an outlet where it was just, sorry I can't, I'm dancing, sorry I can't, I'm conditioning, sorry I can't, I'm at the gym, sorry I can't. Like, it, I took it so seriously, because that was also my way out, dude. Like I
Yeah.
mean, anything that was a distraction was what I was interested in. And then alcohol just ended up being so readily available, and because I'm able to get along with those people who are in the same headspace as I am, it's just flowing. So, you know, then it's
Mm.
like, oh, it's not a problem because I'm honest with it. Oh, it's not a problem because I'm hanging out with like-minded people who are just trying to get through it. They get it. They understand. Let's fucking have a drink,
Yeah.
you know? And then all of a sudden it sneaks up
Yeah.
on you.
Well, with that, when did you realize that it was a problem?
Oh God. Um well, I don't know why I wasn't prepared for this question, but I should have
Sorry.
no, don't be sorry. This is important. Without Here's the thing, I think that everyone is capable of change, always. Always. Human beings are adaptable. It's science to a fault. We are adaptable. We are an adaptable species. That's what we are. Um, I believe that the good people will make the necessary changes and make the hard choices. I believe that the people who are truly people who I don't fuck with are people who know that they need a change and don't. Um, so, with that being said, I just found myself around people that were not good for me. Um, I was like alienated just due to like circumstances, like just like where I lived, and like I didn't have family around. And all of a sudden, I'm just like looking around and I'm like, oh my God, like I don't have, if we're not drinking, no one wants to hang out with me. If we're not, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I have this little kid, like, what am I going to do? And, but the thing is that when I knew I had a problem, I would be like, no, I don't. Because when I'm pregnant, I don't drink. I don't do it at all. It's cold turkey. I don't have any fucking issue. I don't have withdrawals. Addicts have withdrawals. I'm not, that's, come on. So, had my kids and just cold turkey for them and didn't think it was a problem. There was one point where I thought maybe it was at that point that I just shared with you, but with having kids and knowing, like, I was pregnant 3 times, and like had 4 kids. So for me, it's super easy to just cold turkey quit because I'm like, oh, it's for them.
Yeah.
Like, I love them so much. Of course, I'm not going to put them at danger. Duh. And it's done. And then it's like I didn't realize I had a problem really until because I ended up getting divorced. Like, I am divorced. And like my girls' dad is awesome. And so is their stepmom. And we have a great co-parenting relationship. And like, there is so much when it comes to like the people that you still quote unquote have to be around, but are you the problem or is everyone else around you the problem? And that's when I started
Yeah.
realizing that, like, at just different places in my life. And I mentioned that co parenting relationship because it's like, again, that's something else that you can kind of just as a footnote, kind of low key be like, am I honestly the problem here? Or am I kind of half the problem? Or am I, because I promise like it's doable. And I it when I stopped drinking, it was so much easier for me to do just like easy things like that. Like co-parenting is kind of like my point to all of that is like everything was so hard to do and everything like I was the issue. I was the problem in everything no matter where I turned. And I brought up like the divorce and the co-parenting again because it wasn't a problem that I thought I had with myself even through a divorce and even through the aftermath of a divorce. It was after I got married to my husband now, and I really had to start holding myself accountable because he was holding me accountable to be the best version of
Yeah.
myself. And that was something that I took really fucking hard, dude. I took it really goddamn hard because I find he's let's see, 6.5, almost 7 years older than I am. So he's lived his life. He's done what he wants to do and he's settling down. And I've already settled down, but now I'm not settled down. And I mean, am I looking to settle down? I don't fucking know. Like, I just need to make sure these kids are fed and that they know I love them. And I'm just like, I don't know. So it's really hard to kind of answer that question because there were certain points in my life where I'm like, could this be a problem? Nah, because I can quit anytime. But it was after I had my boys where I knew I couldn't have kids anymore. And because I had my tubes tied, where I was just like,
Yeah.
okay, so if I'm not stopping because I'm pregnant, and I know that sounds dumb, but okay, if I'm not stopping because I know I can never get pregnant again, who would I ever stop for?
Yeah.
And
And it would have to be
and it would
yourself.
have to be
Yeah.
myself. And dude, to this day, I'm like, who the fuck would want to quit drinking?
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you this, I didn't want to quit drinking. This bitch over here, me presently, she don't want to quit drinking ever, but I
Yeah.
needed to. But I
So
needed
you
to.
do feel like even today you still have on your mind, is it a constant thing every single day, having a drink, or what it was like when you were drinking? What is it like going through your mind now that you're sober?
Yeah.
What kind of thoughts come to your mind when you do think about alcohol?
Well, there's kind of, so I'll have to be honest because it does change. And I think that some people that I've personally heard recollect, their own journey. Um, and I even remember with myself the first 6 months, I was just white knuckling everything, dude. I mean, I just like that. Listen, I'm gonna be entirely honest with y'all, and this is why I think we can't be on BlueTube because I'm gonna tell you this exactly right now. Life fucked me hard, dude, when I got sober. It fucked me so motherfucking hard in the fucking ass. Like, no lube, no spit, nothing, bitch. Just right up the ass. And I'm telling you this right now because people need to know. If you're gonna get sober, like, expect to hold your breath every time you see a sign. Expect, and this, and I'm not saying like that this is how it should be for everyone. I'm saying this is a realistic
Yeah.
point of view for me. Okay. The first 6 months was holy shit, that's a sign. Holy shit, well, how much is it? Oh, god damn, that's a good no shit, god damn it, bitch. You're not fucking drinking. Remember you told you fucking listen. You fucking told yourself that you were like it literally. That's what I just
Oh my
like at
God.
myself like constantly. It was insane, dude. Like I'm telling you, I like to there I think up to my year mark, I would go to Walmart and I would like walk and I would like have to get milk or something in the back. And I'd walk and there'd just be, like some Michelob stacked up. And without even hesitating out my peripherals, I knew what color of box that was and how the design was. And I instantly looked at the price to see. I didn't even look down at the box because I knew subconsciously exactly what it was. And I caught myself looking at the price before I even looked down to confirm that's what it was because I fucking knew, bitch. I knew. And even in my subconscious, a year later, I was like, but how much is it? I was like, God damn, that's a good. What the fuck are you doing? Like it's insane. And
Yeah.
I'm that was my process. I also didn't go to AA. I never have. I probably never will. Not saying that it's not a good thing for people because you got to do whatever works. I lean on a lot of different things that works for me, and if that works for you, awesome. Whatever works for you.
But there are more paths than, a lot of people think that, I'm an alcoholic, I need to go to AA. But there are more paths for people to reach recovery. And the journey can look very different for every type of person.
Oh, dude, yes, please, no, please keep going because I agree with you.
So, I have another question for you. Since we're getting into the topic of you going into recovery, you're talking about these triggers that you're experiencing while you're in recovery. You're seeing these
Right.
signs, you're seeing the price, you're seeing the actual product. Were
Yeah.
there other triggers that you can think of that made you want to drink that aren't something like seeing a sign?
Oh, sure, sure, sure. So, social gatherings, I completely isolated myself. 1000%. If there was a chance that there was a drink there, I wasn't going. And that's exactly, I almost just got triggered with my own self because the first, like, even year and a half, I was like, I ain't going. So have fun. I mean that sincerely, but I'm not going.
Yeah.
Because that was my defense mechanism. Like, yeah, make a joke out of it, but bitch, I ain't gonna be there. Bye. Like, I'm not. I love you so much. Be safe. Let me know if you need a ride, but I ain't going. And
Yeah.
no matter who it was, no matter what it was, it could have been a wedding. As a matter of fact, one of the ways that I broke out of my shell was that I went to a wedding, and it was like a couple months ago. Like it was just barely. I went to a
Oh,
wedding,
wow.
and I mean, I felt good like about going, and like my husband is super great with my sobriety, and like I mean I think one of his friends, he went up and he was like, "Hey, do a shot with us," and he was like, "Okay." So I I mean, I say this all the time. I think Dax Shepard is the one who said it on his podcast, on like the Armchair Expert podcast, I believe it was. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But anyway, before I got sober, he mentioned something that said, "It is not other people's fault that the chemistry in my brain doesn't allow me to just have one, or to have one where I don't fuck up my life and then want 17,000 more consistently, concurrently, all the time." And I take that to heart, but it really puts it to the test in things like that. And so I just like removed myself. Like I got some air. I vape and, just try to just be within my surroundings, feel the air on my skin. there, I'm very spiritual, so I find ways where I'm very element based. And the wind was immaculate. The wind can heal you, dude. The water heals you. And so it definitely, it's definitely just one of those things where you don't realize how badly you want to get sober until you're already sober. And that's why addiction is so hard, because with addiction, you're either going to get sober or you're going to die from it one day once you realize that you're actually addicted. And with those triggers around being other people, you're like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Like that's a trigger. Like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Because I feel like, why can't I just have one?
Yeah.
But my husband, like during that time, he, like when I went outside and got some air and came back in a couple minutes later, I came and sat down next to him, and he's like, I had a shot of water. I don't know if you saw or not, but I saw you went outside and, whatever, whatever. He's like, I just want you to know I support you. So it's like, yes, there's all these dark things to it. You know what I mean? Dark things to it. But there are people who legitimately try for you because they see how hard you try for them. And addiction will turn you into someone that the people that you love, they don't recognize, and then you don't recognize yourself either. And so the triggers that I have sometimes, I don't really know are there until they happen, right? And so for me, like social gatherings, huge trigger. um uh when fucking when I was stressed out the first year, instantly, well, I'm just gonna go motherfucking get, no, you fucking can't. Like, it's just like it's the first thought in your head, and it's a muscle that you have to. I say this all the time. The brain is an organ, yes, but there's motherfucking muscles in that goddamn bitch, okay? Exercise them. Muscle memory. It's just, if you've been conditioned by your
Absolutely.
addiction to like think, oh well, motherfucker, I'm having a drink, like fuck everybody.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody, I'll show them. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go get fucked up. Oh yeah, you show them, bitch. You fucking show them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was just stupid shit like that. But then all of a sudden you got to stop yourself, and you're gonna find that the reaction time to stopping yourself and being like, hold the fuck on, sit down, like, and it gets quicker with time, and with also making sure that you're wanting to get quicker with that time. um and that's, I'm sure, a whole other thing. But yeah, there's triggers all over the place. There's certain songs I hear that I don't realize will make me want to fucking drink, that I can't listen to
Isn't that
anymore.
so weird?
It is weird. And then I just now, there's a couple songs that like I'll listen to and I'll just be like, oh, yo, it's a motherfucking banger. I forgot about this bitch. You know what I'm saying? But it's, there's still some that are hard. Just like, I'm sure, like with a breakup. If you have a breakup where like you listen to songs together or some bullshit like that, then it's like,
Yeah.
oh God, no. And you just have to not. And that's like something you don't even want to go through. But it's like a breakup, because it's quite literally the first thing you think about, and then the last thing you think about, and in between, how you're going to
Mm,
get more and how you're going to take care of your responsibilities. Because, bitch, I was a high functioning alcoholic, an extremely high functioning alcoholic. And it work work was a trigger. I would have to go to
Yeah.
work. God damn it, I need a drink. Like, I'm not kidding
yeah.
either. It's like, fuck. And when I got sober, I realized that my job was actually part of the reason why I wanted a motherfucking drink so much. And I quit drinking when I was only there for like 6 weeks. I stayed there for over
Wow.
2 years.
Damn.
I mean,
Damn.
nuts. You know what I mean? Like, and to triggers, I have to say, your triggers are unique, but they are yours, which means that they are your responsibility.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, is it fair? No.
Yeah.
Is it fair? No. But they are yours. That's why you have to exercise the muscle, and you have to learn how to fucking cope with shit, because no one can look at you and tell you what your triggers are. You got to learn them. That's dark work, dude, but it's possible. As long as you know who's in charge at the end of the day, your triggers are just triggers. You're going to get through them. It's the ego trying to protect you.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Um, oh shit, now I lost it. Hang on 1 second. Okay, I remember. Okay, so you'd been drinking for a long time. Um, like right before you decided that it was a problem and you needed to go into recovery and get sober, how many drinks did it take you to either feel something or not feel something anymore?
How was I not expecting this question either?
Because it wasn't on anything we wrote down. It
That's
came to
fair.
me and I wanted to know.
Thank you so much for asking, pretty girl in the back. Okay, so, well, let me be very precise.
I really put you on the spot there.
No, like I need to think about it because I haven't thought about it in so long, but it's an important question because people need to know this. I'm going to be entirely honest with you. I would drink, I would be on about my seventh or eighth drink when I would be like, oh, okay,
Wow.
sweet.
Yeah.
It didn't stop there. I would go to about 15 because I would get like a 15 pack because that's what I could afford, you know. And
Yeah.
then being, I don't give a shit. I would always get a second 15 pack. The peak of my addiction, I was drinking a max of 30 drinks a day. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Yep.
incredible.
And like consecutive, like every day, every single day for months. For months I did that.
So what time of day would you find yourself drinking? Is it this an evening thing, or was this a get up in the morning and start in?
Well, it really just because again, high functioning. So it depended on my responsibilities. I would never drink and drive. I would never like put my kids at any type of harm like that. Not even myself, just because for some reason I just had some type of feeling where I was like, don't you fucking let your kids go without a mom, bitch, even though I was drinking. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like addiction does weird things. But at least that was
Yeah.
something that I felt good about because it was also something where like there was a time where I caught myself like, oh no, I'm good, like I can drive, but then I was like, oh no, wait, am I, you know what I mean? And like it was one of
Yeah.
those things where like, okay, but then where's like, if I can't get drunk until I have 7 or 8 drinks and the limit is like 1 an hour, how am I supposed to limit myself? And so it was one of those things where if I needed to like go and pick up like do go across county lines, go across like anything like that, anytime if I would go down to the store, I mean it was one of those things where I was like, could could you go for me, could you go for me? Oh god, I was always asking someone to be my gopher. Yeah. And it was so annoying, dude. That was like part of my personality, I'm sure, like, oh, could you go for me? But then it was also one of those things where um like I was also able to have 1 drink an hour actually for a long time. But it was when I knew that I was done driving where I'd be like, okay, like, you know, shit like that. And then I would catch up, quote unquote. So it was a thing where, like, you know, at the start of it, I mean, God, like, I would even say like 4 or 5 years ago, if I was having like 1 drink on the hour every hour, then I was like, oh well, I'm able to drive because I was. I mean, honestly, that's what the law is. If you have 1 beer within
Yeah.
that hour, I don't care if you chug it and then you go a whole other hour on the hour and then you chug another one, or if you have one in your hand the entire hour and you're sipping on it, that is the legal limit. That is what it is, no matter what. So I would live by that rule. I found myself. You know what I'm saying? I lived by that rule. Like when it came to, you know, oh, I'm good. I can drive to the gas station. Like I haven't had a lot to drink. Like I was one of those where I was like, oh no, like I've only had like one. Or like, oh, I've been here for a while. This is like my second one. I'm good. You know what I mean? And like then I found myself, which thank goodness, but like in my head, I was like, okay, well, you know that you've had too much, so you can't drive. So don't offer to go. And I'm like, okay, well, can you go for me? And then that's when it started becoming like, you know what I mean? It's just, it's a slippery goddamn slope and you don't even realize when it happens. So when you start drinking that much, because it is an addiction and your tolerance is going to rise, yeah, you're asking people to do shit for you all the time because you need it. You can't go
Yeah.
without it.
So, was there ever a point in your road to recovery that you had thought to yourself, maybe I need to seek help outside of myself? Because it sounds like you really went inward. You had this
Mm-hmm.
spiritual awakening that helped you get sober. Was there a point where you thought maybe you needed to go to like a rehab or to join like an Alcoholics Anonymous group?
Yeah, like I attempted to get sober. I mean, I relapsed like when I truly tried, instead of just like, oh, I'm going to drink once a week. Like there were times like that all the time, and then all of a sudden I was drinking on Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like it was
Yeah.
ridiculous. And but then it ended up being a problem. And I was like, okay, well, I I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm going crazy. And like my husband, he was like, well, maybe just try drinking less. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go 30 days without drinking. And so like I went over 30 days, and then I just found a reason to do it again. Like it just didn't stick. And so I did like look up AA stuff, and like, just trying to find what would get to me. But to be honest with you, like I started my spiritual awakening, and I think that's why I got so deep into my addiction, was because I had to get to know my shadows. I had to get to
Yeah.
know like what was causing me to do that, because either the drink's going to kill me or the shadows are going to kill me. And that's how I felt, because it was so
Yeah.
dark. Like people think spiritual work is just fucking sunshine and rainbows. No, sit down, because no, it's not, you
Not
know?
called shadow work for a
Yeah,
reason.
Yeah.
guess what? Light workers can't be light workers without knowing how to tame their fucking shadows, bitch. And that is a process, okay? And the reason why I believe I was drinking so much and why I just found myself in addiction is because all of a sudden everything is so clear to me. Everything is so clear, and it's heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking to you. And in the middle of that, I'm also trying to get sober, and I'm
Yeah.
relapsing, and like I'm sober, and then I'm like remembering things, and then I'm like, oh shit, no, it's too much. And then like I drink, because I'm like, oh God, whether it was something I did that I can't forgive myself for, or something that like is a memory that lives in my head with the way back there. Um, I mean, it wasn't until I got like fully, like I was past my month mark, and I started like, going through an actual process like that. But it was creeping up on me, and I couldn't quite get there. I was so irritable. I was so angry. I was just so, because I feel like something's right behind me trying to just fucking swallow me, dude. And so I feel like it was just one of those things where spirituality worked for me to pull me out of it, yes. But I quite literally, like, spirituality almost fucking killed me as well, because that could have killed me. And I'm happy it didn't. But also, the withdrawals could have killed me as well. And I'm happy it didn't. But those came later, you know? I mean, I have no. I have no idea how honestly the addiction got so bad so fast, other than I was seeing things for exactly what it was. And
Mm.
I knew for whatever reason, I just had to keep pushing through, even though I would go back to the drink. I had to keep pushing through spiritually. And then finally, my spirituality turned on me and said, if you can't get rid of this, everything you've done is going to be for fucking nothing. And that's the why within me where I took action, even though the people around me were really my why. When I initially like got into this part of recovery. Um, but anyway, yeah, it's just one of those things where we feel like, at least addicts, like I say we, but recovering addicts, whatever, like you you don't realize how bad it gets until it's fucking horrid. And then you quite literally
Yeah.
will either die or get sober. And you feel like getting sober will fucking kill you. And guess what? It almost did for me personally. And it's it is not for the weak. It's not for the weak to get addicted, and it's not for the weak to go through recovery. And that's why, even when I was an addict and I had no goddamn idea, I had mad respect for people who were in recovery, because help, but also it's not your fault, but help. You know what I mean? Like, what is in you that I don't see in me yet? Just tell me, you know? So
Yeah.
it's always been something that I knew was an issue. But the past couple years, like before this, um, was really just me getting acquainted with all of my spiritual work and my gifts, and the good and the bad and the ugly. But the good became so much less good because the ugly and the bad became all of my addiction. And I don't know, it sneaks up on you because you're not aware when you're drunk all the time, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So before getting sober, do you feel like there was ever a point in time where family or your friends had expressed any kind of concern, besides your husband,
Mhm.
kind of trying to get you to hold yourself accountable for your drinking? Were there other people who were like, we're concerned about this, or was it your own realization that really brought you to the conclusion that you had a drinking problem?
Yeah, I mean, like my mom mentioned like something like once or twice, mentioned something once or twice and said, you got to get a hold of this. Like, you got to, meh, meh, meh. But I have authority issues. So I'm going to do it harder now. How about that, Ma? Like, and she's probably
I
listening right
love
now being
that.
like, yeah, she said what she said. And she actually did that. So go her. Who's the winner now, Ma? But it's one of those things where like she was saying it because she was concerned, yes, but really and truly my husband was the only one who was trying to hold me accountable. He's also the one that sees me every day. He's also the one that's like, we have kids, and just because you're going and doing, like I would go to the I would walk to the park because I mean I've been drinking, and like if we go to the park, yeah, I'll have a drink, duh, because we're like playground with kids. Ooh, summertime, meh, I'm thirsty, like whatever, like just and so I I just thought it was like, okay, mom, like one of those fucking things. But it was only like, I mean, maybe once or twice, I'm sure. Um, it was so accepted. So, and it still is. Just so, I feel like, my opinion, we're in the generation of, we're not wounded warriors, but we're in the process of healing ourselves so that we can be whole again. And if not, if you decide to not pick up your shield and fucking do that, then it's going to swallow you and you're going to let
Yeah.
it. And that's what makes me so sad, is that that's exactly what became clear for me during my spiritual awakening, was that it wasn't like, oh, my mom was right, or like, oh, Jason was right. It was like, quite literally, when I got to that point, I was like, you will fucking die, dude. You will throw up your stomach contents or have a motherfucking stroke because you are puking too hard, and that you're going to have a fucking hemorrhage in your brain. I mean, I do like family research and shit. Like my great great grandmother who raised my grandmother who raised me, she passed away of a stroke because she had a hemorrhage in her brain because she just had some mysterious stomach illness where she was always throwing up, and one day she threw up too hard and she
Oh.
hemorrhaged.
Hmm.
And I was like,
Oh.
you will fucking die. And it
Yeah.
became so
Yeah.
clear to me at that point where I was like, okay, shit. And then I like looked in and my husband was trying to sleep, but I was just like fucking, bleh, just sorry, trigger warning. I just, that's horrible. But anyway, just it's horrible because it takes over your entire body, mind, body, soul. It took over my mind. It took over my soul. The only thing left was my body,
Yeah.
and I was going to die.
That, yeah. That's crazy.
Ugh.
Well, I'm excited to get into the next episode and talk about your recovery.
Yeah, me too.
Kind of talked about it a little bit, but I think that's a good point for us to end this episode so that we can get into that more.
Thank
And
you
if
guys
there's any
for
other things,
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say thank you guys
no,
for the
you're
questions for this one, because I think they're giving me a chance to be like really vulnerable. But also, the reason why I'm doing this is because um, you are not alone. Hi, I'm still an addict. You know what I mean? I am still in
yeah,
recovery. I may be in recovery for the rest of my fucking life, and I am prepared and expecting that. But when I say that it is hard, it is also hard to be addicted. It is so hard. It
Yeah.
is so fucking
Yeah.
hard. Pick your hard, dude. And pick your hard because people love you and I love you and because you can motherfucking do it. If you're listening and you're addicted to anything right now, and there's even been one fucking moment in your own brain where you're like, shit, dude, am I gonna die? Yes, you
Yeah.
could. You fucking
Yeah.
could. So reach out to the people that love you because they love you and we love you and we want you to be here. So, yes, it will be hard, but you are capable of hard things because it's also hard to be addicted. So just choose your hard and choose it wisely.
Exactly.
Also,
Exactly.
I just want to add really quickly, please check in the show notes and we will have resources for you to be able to find help with your recovery if that's what you're looking for.
Yes, please, please, please. And
Yes.
if there's
Please.
anyone in the comments or that wants to send us anything to disruptcrew@scottytom.com, then that way we can, if you have like a recovery story that you want us to read that may inspire somebody, we can keep you anonymous if you wish. But it's also just something where, like we're, please leave your comments. Let us know anything and everything that you want us to cover or that maybe we missed during this, because this is only my experience. I'm not speaking for
Yeah.
everyone, and I will never claim to, unless just to give a general public opinion that I've formed based on the community around this that I've seen. But of course, that can change. So please, like, feel free. Any comments, anything like that.
Well, and before we go, I just want to say thank you, Scotty, for being so vulnerable and willing to share your story
Oh, girl,
of
thank you.
addiction and next time recovery.
Oh, girl, thank you. I know. I'm Scotty. I'm a recovering addict, a recovering alcoholic, or I don't really know how to say it because I've never been in AA, but it's just like when I say it, it feels right and it feels accountable and it feels responsible. Ooh, that was really powerful. That feels it
Ooh.
feels it feels responsible, and I
Good.
like I
Yeah.
like being responsible.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And
All of
just
them,
know that we love you.
please.
And thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. I love
Thanks,
you guys. Thank
everybody.
you. Bye.
Love you. See you next time. Bye.
Love you guys. Bye.